Hi, good evening and welcome to Rangers Radio. Joining myself Southside on the panel this evening are two stalwarts of Rangers Radio, JFK and Bridgeman. How are you guys?
Hi Southside, hi Bridgeman.
Okay, that's a huge good evening to you two guys. Massive good evening to the boys all in the lobby and to all the Rangers fans that are listening in all over the world. Good evening. Welcome to Rangers Radio.
Southside.
Yes, mate.
Where is Ox here tonight?
I got a phone call just probably about an hour and a half ago or something. He said he was busy at work and stuff and he couldn't make the show. But I've had a wee message that his car was seen on the M74. I shouldn't really be telling you this, mate, but his wee car gets seen, his wee Fiat 500 gets seen in a service station. I think it was Southway he was in. The gentleman knew it was him because he could tell by the private plate it was Ox O on the end of it. You know how he's got his wee plate.
Right, aye.
So I believe there's a rumour that he's actually trying to get up to the game tomorrow.
All right.
And he's been seen at Southway services, so that's the reason why I've been fired in the right. So I'll need to apologise to the listeners. But that's the script, mate. How are you, Bridge?
I'm fantastic, thank you. Fantastic.
You're looking very dapper in that suit, mate.
Oh, thank you, pal. Yeah, well, I'm dressed up for an anniversary, so I'm very happy.
Right.
And I'm sure that you're really looking forward to taking over tonight, in his absence.
Aye, mate. I flung in at the deep end, did my best as usual, you know. But you're looking very dapper, mate. You're looking like that Harry out of the Kingsman sitting there, mate. So yeah, looking very dapper. So I believe we're going to have a wee press conference for the gaffer. We can get started and we can hear what he said today, chaps, and then we can talk about it if you want. So if you two like to get in mute, we'll hear what our gaffer had to say.
No problem, bud.
The big news, of course, is the signing yesterday of Aaron Ramsey. How much of an impact will he have on your team, both on and off the pitch, and what sort of work goes into bringing a player of that calibre to the club?
Well, of course, I'm very happy with the last day of the transfer window, bringing in two players, Mateus as a fullback, and of course Ramsey for midfield. So really happy and pleased to have him in the squad. First contact I had with him was over the weekend, and to be able to bring in a player like Aaron was, is a very good opportunity for us. For us, luckily, all the hard work for Ross Wilson he put in the last days, we could bring him in, and he will bring experience and quality to the squad. And as I said before, you have to be ready in the transfer window, and just make sure you're prepared, and to leave the window stronger as a squad than you started it. And I think we achieved that over this window.
And is there a possibility he could feature tomorrow? And can you give us an injury update, specifically Phil Hollander and Leon Balogun? Are they any closer to first team action?
Yeah, well, Aaron, he trained with the squad today. He just comes back from a couple of weeks he didn't play. So, for tomorrow, it's too soon for him to be involved. But I expect him to be in the squad in the near future, really quick. Hollander is still out, still playing, but he has to play games to get his rhythm back. So hopefully he can also feature in the next coming weeks. And Leon is fit, so he's traveling with us tomorrow.
As well as players coming in, that'll get the focus. How important was it that you kept all the players in the squad, the likes of Joe Aribo, Ryan Kent, Borna Barisic, etc.?
Well, that's also important because you don't want to lose players who are valuable to the squad and very important players, starters. So I'm happy, we didn't have to sell or like a big club came for them. So in that aspect, I'm quite happy that we kept them, and also happy with the players we brought in.
In the last couple of away matches, the team has got in front and then seemed to sit back and try and play on the counter. Is that a tactical thing or a mentality, or just the way the game has gone?
Well, I think I don't think we played on the counter last Saturday. I mean, I think we play really well. We didn't sit deep. We make mistakes which brought Ross County back into the game. We had to dig deep to overcome, the 2-1, and we did, I think, really well the second half. I think the best half we played after the break, with intensity, with rhythm, with creating chances, and coming back to 3-2, two big chances to go 4-2 ahead, and then of course last minute get the goal against us. But we were very disappointed about the result, which is normal. But I think the way we played second half, was really positive, and we have to bring that game also tomorrow. And so in that way, technically, I don't think we sit deep, but so you also have to do your game management and see how games will go. If you're up and running, you don't have to defend. If you're having problems in the game, maybe you sit a little bit deeper. But it's all in your game management.
You of course return to Celtic Park tomorrow night. How much are you looking forward to this one?
Well, good. I mean, what's the case for players is the same for coaches. You have to you have special games in your career, in the season, and of course for me and the club, the Old Firm is the biggest game we play in the league. Games I played as a player, now also as a coach. So, but it's the same. You want to enjoy the games, you want to be successful, and make sure you get a good result.
And I'm sure, like you say, you'll have many memories of this fixture, and you've been involved in huge games across your whole career. Is there still some nerves there, or is it excitement? How do you feel in the build-up to this fixture?
Well, I feel, of course, excitement, because it's a big game. I played many big games in my career, Old Firms, Classical, World Cup final, Champions League final, I mean, Euros, World Cup, so all exciting games, and so to prepare for games like this is really nice, because you want to get the best out of your team, you want to perform well, you want to make sure everything is well organized. So, but it's all with a lot of energy, and to make sure everything is there to get a good result.
Giovanni, I wonder if you've got a decision to make with regards to your goalkeeper in terms of what happened against Ross County at the weekend, or will you continue to back Alan McGregor?
No, I don't have a decision to make. I mean, it's for me, Alan is the number one goalkeeper, and with goalkeepers, if they make a mistake, it's most of the time it's crucial. But I think Alan is still is a great goalkeeper. He saved us many times this season, and it would be strange for me to get him out of the team after a game we played on Saturday. It's you don't want to make mistakes on purpose. It will overcome you, but. Alan turned 40 yesterday, so he has all the experience to overcome this situation as well. And, for me, it was no discussion to think about taking Alan out of the team.
Alfredo Morelos is obviously away on international duty with Colombia. He didn't even make the squad for the game against Peru last week. Can you give us your take on that, being without a player who doesn't feature for his international team? And if he's not going to be in the squad for the game against Argentina tonight, is there any scope for bringing him back for the game tomorrow?
Well, I mean, it's obviously you don't want to lose players in the season, and we have to respect the rules on the FIFA calendar, because as a club we cannot do anything. But it's a pity for him, and also for us as a club, that he's not even in the squad. So. He's been 2 weeks away, but not featured in the game. So I don't know if he will be in the squad for the Argentina game. But, to not have him in the squad, and Morales, not having minutes with his country, it's very harsh, especially for Morales himself.
In terms of looking at the short term and the long term and the signings, was that something you had a lot of chat with your staff and Ross Wilson over?
Well, of course, we spoke a lot with Ross the last weeks. when I came here at the club about the squad, potential targets we have for positions, and of course we knew that Nathan was really valued in the market, and so we needed to change the squad in January. And as you said, we only wanted to move in the market if we can get quality in, and you said to get Diallo in from United, and of course Ramsey from Juventus. Those are possibilities you won't have a lot as a club, and so I'm really happy that we were successful in those transfers, and of course bringing also Mateus as a backup for James. It's a very talented fullback, so also really happy that we could sign him. So I think, as I said before, you have to be prepared as a club, and I think we acted really well this window.
Celtic obviously provide a different challenge, a different kind of challenge to other teams in the league. Does that mean there's a natural tendency on your behalf to default to a more defensive approach, or do you intend, without telling us your squad obviously, to continue with the normal style in which a club plays?
Well, as I said before, we're going to prepare every team in watching games and see where their strengths lies. See where we can deploy any spaces and be dangerous. So, of course, with the quality Celtic has, it's different from any other team in Scotland, because they're a top team, a good team. So we have to be well prepared and make sure we have our game plan. We have so, and now we have to execute it tomorrow.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Well, guys, that was quite a frank and quite a wee frank interview that he gave, and certain players that we were hoping that might be in or out.
Yeah.
Jimmy, he seemed to answer the questions. We were looking about Ramsey and Balogun and the goalkeeper.
Yeah, another Rangers manager who comes across as someone who knows what he's talking about. As usual with Rangers managers, Southside, very enlightening and very entertaining. Listening to him, very informative, straight to the point, answered the questions the way they should be asked, and that's refreshing. He told us a lot there about what he was thinking about going forward regarding the team tomorrow night. Gave us a couple of hints there, about Balogun, but obviously we're going to the team later on, which I'm pleased about Balogun. I've said on here many times, I prefer him to who, Mr. Bassey, but that's just my opinion. I'm pleased the way things are going, especially with what we've done in obviously we'll come into that, the transfer window. Southside, really pleased about the Ross Wilson and the backroom staff have managed to achieve for us. Made us a stronger team, and the business we've done has been absolutely fantastic. We've signed players for Gdansk, Manchester United, and Juventus, and there's others I've signed players for the J League and MK Dons. What does that tell you? And an Irish team that I wouldn't even say their name. So I'm really pleased, mate. Really pleased.
Aye. Bridge, what did you think of the press conference? He was mentioning Balogun maybe coming back fit.
Well, I think I would definitely think about putting Balogun in. He had a tremendous game against them at Ibrox. Fantastic display put on. And he certainly kept the young Japanese boy very quiet in the first half anyway. Tremendous tackles and really good to see. And by the way, our manager talks a good game. As Jimmy said, he knows, he seems to know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
And I've got no doubts about what he's in his mind, and that's to beat Celtic. And that's my honest opinion. He's not going to put MD in there. It's not going to be ready, I hope. Right? So as far as he's concerned, it's going to be, shall we say, all guns blazing out tomorrow. Like the guy knows, he's a world-class player, and he's a tremendous manager. He's managed in a few countries as well. So he kind of knows what he's doing as far as football's concerned. And as I can't say this too much, to be honest. Listen to what Jimmy said. The players that Rangers have signed in this close season, close part here with transfer line, That is unbelievable stuff. That's just unbelievable stuff for Rangers. The only thing I find negative about it, and may impact on us, is that the boys not ready for it to play in big game tomorrow. That's the only thing.
Ramsey.
That's all. Yeah, nothing else. Everything else, absolutely.
The manager sort of said that the day, Bridge, in his press conference. That he's probably lacking game time and a bit of fitness, but we're good enough to go up to the Chamber of Secrets tomorrow night and batter them. So if we do it without Ramsey, it'll be all the sweeter. And like you say, I think the only thing he nailed to the mast, JFK and Bridge, was the goalkeeping situation. That I think we know now that we're going up there, as I thought myself. He's never let us down against him, So Alan McGregor for me was always going to start tomorrow. JFK.
Of course, Southside, and probably like yourself. Well, maybe no. I know you maybe know do a lot of social media, but some of the rubbish I've been reading, so-called Rangers fans, drop McGregor and bring John McLaughlin. They slighting John McLaughlin. I agree that John McLaughlin will be our next Rangers number one. But the times that Alan McGregor saved us in games, especially games against the puddle drinkers, has been absolutely wonderful. So for me, the gaffers nailed it right on the head. Alan McGregor's my number one goalkeeper, and he will be playing tomorrow night. End of, and that's it finished. So anybody that's listening out there who's got any doubts about Alan McGregor, then don't, because when a goalkeeper makes a mistake, Southside, unfortunately, it's there for everybody to see. But strikers are missing sitters every other week, So for me, it's a no-brainer, and I'm very pleased with the words of the gaffer. He stood behind his goalkeeper, his number one, as he called him. Very pleased about that, mate. Definitely.
Aye. Yourself, Bridge?
Yeah, definitely. The only slight thing in my mind is the way it's all came about, and as when the manager says, patch at the back, says, "You're it, get in there and do it." It might put a wee bit of additional pressure on him, and I don't want any of our boys getting pressed like that. But McGregor's a most experienced goalkeeper, possibly in Britain. Amazing goalkeeper. He had a terrible day at the weekend there, terrible day, and the weather was dreadful. So I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt there, most assuredly.
Well, Bridge, I didn't have a problem. I thought he would start him. I didn't see how he couldn't start him. I mean, you play for Glasgow Rangers, you play with pressure. That's part and parcel of coming to your club. We win. We need to win every week. So you play with that pressure. He made a couple of blunders. And it cost us the points at the end, and we ended up with a draw. Cost us a blunder against Hearts, but in one hand I could probably count the amount of mistakes Alan McGregor's made in his whole time he's been at Glasgow Rangers, So for me, there was never an issue with him going into the goals, and I don't do a lot of social media, Jimmy, at all. I do virtually none of it, so it keeps the blood pressure down, mate.
I know. But some it's. And I know some of them might be younger Rangers fans who have and I'm not being disrespectful for them, but try to look at the bigger picture, guys and that, gals, and it's Alan McGregor, for goodness sake. He was just turned 40 yesterday, and I think this will be his last season, just the way I think, but not because he's made mistakes. Southside, he deserves to be the Rangers number one until the end of this season when they help you lift to 56, mate. Without a doubt.
Aye, 100%, mate. I think could be his last season at the club. We don't know, but he's certainly going to get a winner, mate, at the end of the season, and hopefully it'll be with the league, especially, and a Scottish Cup winners' medal, and then we'll see where it takes us. We never know. Gio might have something else in mind. McLaughlin could come to the fore, be the number one, and obviously McCrory's got ambitions of trying to stake a claim in our first team as well. So. But so it's been good for what the gaffer said. We've got a wee idea. Obviously, we've had a good transfer window, like you were saying there, Jimmy, and Bridge. So I suppose, do you think we've finished overall stronger? You both agree that we're stronger after the transfer window?
You first, Bridge, where you go, pal?
Oh, yes, most assuredly. I think that just the mere fact that you've got Aaron Ramsey in the door is just incredible. I find it just absolutely incredible. The only wee negative, as I say, is he's not fit, or he's not fit enough to play the other night. So it might be a week he gets up to full fitness, as far as that's concerned. Because when did he play? Did he last play November or something like that?
Aye.
So
I think it was a sub or something, November.
Yeah. All I mean is
he's played 3 games this season for them.
Aye.
Right, that's cool. So we now know, and all we need to do is he just needs to get himself number one, 100% physically fit, and he needs to watch out for his match fitness. So it might be one game, it might only be the Celtic game he misses, but the next game might come too quick. That's the only thing that's wrong with it. But with the number of games that we've got to play in a short period, very, very difficult. But for me, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you look at the first guy we've brought in, the Polish under-21 player, Matus Zukawski, looks like we've signed him on a 3.5-year deal.
Yep.
Same age as what Nathan Patterson was, Jimmy. Probably played against him in some youth tournaments, probably in the last couple of years. So, looks like something for the future for us, eh?
Yeah, I can't find any footage of him, Southside, but I've got a lot of information reading about him, and he's very, very similar to Nathan Patterson. You know, and what a bit of business we've sold Nathan Patterson, who was virtually a squad player. We all know that, for 12 million going on to 16 million, and an undisclosed fee for this boy. But the information is that it's £250,000 buyout fee his contract, which is a marvellous piece of business. And the gaffer said there the day, you know, Mateus basically is back up to James. He's telling us he's Tavernier's back up. So that tells you what he thinks about him. So, as I say, I've never managed to find any footage of him, but what I've read, he's in the same ilk as Nathan Patterson, so, and same age. So that's fantastic. You know, to Diallo, Diallo for me there, we're crying out for South, was a right winger. I said that before the hangman. I think everybody was in agreement. We're quite, no say weak, lax in that area. We needed a right winger, and I think we've got that now. I'll disagree with Bridge in a slightly. I wouldn't have played Aaron Ramsey tomorrow, but I would have had him on the bench. I wouldn't have started him, but if he'd have been fit enough, I would have had him on the bench, and maybe he'd have come on if it need be. But I'm quite happy whatever the gaffer says, because I think when I'm at Ibrox on Sunday watching him, I think he'll make his debut in front of a full house on Sunday. But all in all, it's been a great window. As I said earlier on, we're signing players with Manchester United, Juventus and Gdansk, and others are signing them for top halfpenny leagues. Or they think they're world-class players, but I'm really happy. But the downside for me in the winter thing is Alfie's no there, and I just think it's a disgrace that a player is taken halfway around the world and he doesn't get a sniff yet. So, there you go, Bridge.
I was going to say, you also got to remember that everything changed when we moved the break period. The break period forward and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, Alfie, we wouldn't have had a game to do.
No, that's right. Aye,
I mean, so
that's right.
Planning wise, there wasn't a problem. Alfie going or any of the other guys going. But it all changed.
But as I said before the winter break, South and Bridge, is that our main priority was not to lose any players. Right? We're big players like Aribo, Kamara, Kent, players like that. Obviously Hadji would have been in that equation, but obviously with his injury. But we've added to the squad, so that is very pleasing. You know, look, see, even if we hadn't added to the squad, we're still a far superior team than the puddle drinkers will ever be. You know, and that's what we need to, the players need to realise who they're playing for. Go here tomorrow night and beat this team hands down. And they've got enough good players to do that. World-class players are playing against this mob tomorrow. And they surely get there and do them. I don't want a Bridgeman result tomorrow. I want them to get a doing.
Aye, Jimmy, 100%. I think I'd heard people on the show before, and we all knew our squad, as long as we didn't lose anybody, there was any first team regular, then that squad that we had was certainly good enough to beat them for this league. You know, we're champions, we're top of that league now. All right, we've had a couple of wee blips, but it's going to happen in the season. It's how you react, and we'll go up there tomorrow, and that's the reaction we're looking for. Probably the one that went out the door, Bridge, that probably just been unlucky. I think he supported us as a boy. will always be remembered for 55 and contributing, scored a few goals that season, played against them up at the Chamber of Secrets, played a few games in the Europa League for us, will be Brandon Barker, Bridge.
Yeah, it was his name was never quite heralded. In fact, he had a better reputation when he played against us than he had playing for us. But he had a couple of games where he played really well and scored a couple of goals, as you said. So he contributed. So we can't say too much about that. But I think probably the last 6 months this season, when he has come on, he hasn't actually taken the chance. Seriously, he hasn't taken the chance to do what was necessary for him to do, to stay there. So I wasn't surprised when that came out. I wasn't surprised. But good luck to him. Thank you very much for your contribution, as I say. Good luck to you, Brandon. Hope you go do well for yourself. Excuse me.
I know in a fortnight we don't.
I don't know what it was with him, Jimmy. If you remember when he came up, he played for Hibs for a while and he had a bit of pace about him and was running at players and taking them on and stuff. But for whatever reason, it's no worked out for him at our club. But I wish him all the best. I hope he finds another club. I'm sure he's only about 26 years of age, and I'm sure there'll be clubs scouting about for him that I'll probably take him, you know.
Aye, definitely, mate. Definitely. He never let set the hair on fire for me. I could never take to him. But I wish him all the best for whatever it is he's got to do in the future, mate. So, he scored a few important goals for us. So whatever happens to him, they was supposed to be going to the spoon burners, but that fell through. But I've heard that they could still come back in for him because he's a free agent, because Rangers released him for his contract. So, we'll soon see what happens, mate. Soon see what happens.
Aye, maybe a team like that might suit him, you know. Maybe like to play on the counter-attack and stuff. But good luck to him. End of the day, contributed, Jimmy, came and played for the club, and hopefully he'll find himself a club elsewhere in the future, you know.
Definitely.
But I hope if you look at England, but well, thing is, Bridge, the thing about it, he done well at Oxford down there and stuff when he was doing on loan. He done all right in that league and that, but he'll get a club. But no, it's just the fact that we've managed to get him off the wage bill. There'll be, I think there's another few players that we might have thought might have moved on. Any thoughts, guys, on Ryan Jack back, possibly getting an appearance shortly? Jimmy?
It was good to see him make a cameo last week, and I did pick him in my team when the 3-each draw there. I don't think he'll feature tomorrow, mate. Once we get my teams later on, I don't think it'll be the type of game for him tomorrow. I think the players that the gaffer will pick, he wants that. I'm not sure he doesn't have a battling midfielder against them now, because they don't have the Lego muncher. He's no longer there. But we need to have good ball players in there, and I think we've got enough cracking players to utilise that tomorrow and snuff them out. So, but it's good to see him back. It was absolutely wonderful. I had my doubts about whether he'd come back to the player he is, and we've still got to see if he will do that, South. But yeah, I'm hopeful that this is the start of something good for Ryan Jack again.
It's good to get him back in the squad, Bridge, into it, and hopefully, I heard the manager saying he had been training for a few weeks, the same as Hollander. Hollander's been training, but I think it's to get them match games now. It's trying to get them in the team, to get them some match sharpness, Bridge.
Yeah, I think, well, actually, to be honest, I think we've said it for the last number of weeks, but in fact, maybe months, that we would like to see Hollander coming back, and even Balogun. You know, that we need that extra strength sitting on the bench. So if something happens at centre back, and you can get a man in. But Hollander to me is really a first team player, 100% first team pick, and we have missed that, missed his strength and wisdom on the park. But there's loads and loads of players we've got. We shouldn't have to worry about what's happening. We really shouldn't, but sometimes we do.
Aye. It's part of football, Bridge, isn't it? But when you look at the signing, guys, when we're looking at now, we've signed Aaron Ramsey, you know. When you think back to even a few seasons back, and you look at where we've been, where we got to, and how we've got back and won the league, and players we were attracting under Stevie G when we're rebuilding the club back. But to see where we are now, we're attracting a player like Aaron Ramsey. GIF came. It's night and day to, but it's unbelievable now, isn't it? The sort of player we're getting. Calibre.
I was sat glued yesterday watching the soccer. Well, not glued all day, but back and forth watching the deadline day, you know, and there was a few comments when it started to come out that it was coming to Rangers and that, and you know, I think it's a fantastic thing for us. I mean, it's probably the best signing we've had since Gaza on profile. You know, I mean, he never laced Gaza's boots, although I think Ramsey's a cracking player. But since Gaza came, there's not been that aura about Rangers, shall I say? But it's a fantastic signing. There must have been maybe 4 or 5 other clubs, even in the Championship, who could probably dwarf for the wages that we pay Southside. So, I'm really, really, really happy. I'm looking forward to seeing him play. Would he have played tomorrow? I'd like to have seen him being a sub. It's a fantastic signing. And others who say it's no, well, we know where they're coming from. And it's just the petted lip suit. And it's absolutely wonderful, mate. I've met a couple of them in the area and that, and the chins are back on the ground again. They think they're world beaters, you know. They think that because they've got a couple of scrapey results that they're world beaters and that, you know. So I've not got any fear about them tomorrow. Couple of glitches, but we'll roast them tomorrow, mate.
Right. Bridge, that's an upgrade on Bakuna.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I don't know how you can say it like that. That's a compliment to Bakuna that he said there. Seriously, you're talking different worlds.
Of course.
You know if you'd have seen him in Saturday.
It's good business.
I haven't seen it. I do apologise. I haven't seen any.
I watched him a weekend, mate, and it was absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, but he's at a different level, right?
I know. It just shows you.
He's probably now playing at the level he should have been at.
Yeah.
To come up here is a real challenge for anyone.
Yeah.
And by the way, Aaron Ramsey might feel the similar things. It might take him a game or two to get his foot on the ball properly. I think Aaron Ramsey's been an absolute world star since and when he was a youngster. I'm not going to try and tell you the boy's name. Him, 2 youngsters in Arsenal.
Jack Wilshere.
Him, and I'd have taken any two, even to give it a loan for a couple of weeks just to help us out with all, as you say. But no, they were fantastic. So he's probably the best part of 14, 15 years. Aaron Ramsey, we've been sitting, waiting and blossoming. And he's played fabulous football for his country. Wonderful player. So all I can say, really, I want to put a kibosh on him. The guy's a fantastic player. There's no doubt about that. You can't argue about his quality and pedigree.
Aye, I think it was just the fact. I mean, when Arsenal signed him way back 2008, they shelled out about £5 million for him back then, you know. And he was starting to gather momentum at Arsenal, I think. And then he had a horrible injury. I think he had a leg break around about 2010 or 11 or something like that. And I think that kept him back a wee bit. And then he obviously battled back for that. I think he was out on loan at Nottingham Forest for a wee bit of time. And then he managed to get back into the Arsenal team. And probably about 2013-14 season, he really started to take off. And he made his name, I think, Jimmy down there in the Premiership at that time. And like you said, playing with Wiltshire and stuff like that. But he started to flourish in that Arsenal team round about then, eh?
Aye, definitely, mate. I mean, he had a season and a half at Cardiff and he scored 16, 17 league goals, and then Arsenal paid a decent fee for him. But league goals alone, he scored 262 league goals. 40 league goals and 262 appearances. Right, and that was him there 11 years, mate. And then he went to Forest and loan, then back to Cardiff. Then he went to Juve because he was a free. It's a wonderful piece of business, mate. I watched him in the international game for Wales when Gareth Bale was out, and they ran the show. And the Tartan Trannies are in for a nightmare when he comes, if they get through against Ukraine and they play against Wales, because I know who I'll be supporting anyway. But not just because he plays for Rangers, because I don't like the Tartan Trannies. But no, look, It's a fantastic bit of business for Rangers. As I say, since we signed Gaza Southside, I could never see Rangers bringing a player of that stature to Ibrox again, to be honest. The day we brought Gaza was absolutely a joyful day. And I know we brought Brian Laudrup, but when we brought Gaza to Ibrox was absolutely fantastic. But now to see, sitting watching the videos of Aaron Ramsey getting introduced to the Rangers fans at the main door was absolutely joyful, mate. And I'm not going overboard about him. I think he'll bed in maybe 2 or 3 games to bed in, but this guy's a world-class player without a shadow. So let's enjoy it. Let's enjoy it, and let's hope the end of the season he's part of the medal team that's getting the 56th championship medal. Oh,
aye, 100%, Jimmy. I think he's no daft. He knows what Glasgow Rangers is. He knows the club, you know. Yeah. He knows the size he is. He's probably listening to players there, even like Jermaine Defoe talking about. He's even probably heard Stevie G on talking about us when he was here. He knows the size of the club. He knows what the club's built on. It's built on history. We're the world's most successful club, you know. So he knows what he's coming to here, Jimmy, and he's obviously wanting to thrive with a passion. He knows we're going to be passionate for the stands and away from home. He knows the following we bring when you support Glasgow Rangers. So he knows the environment, mate. He gets it all, and the fact that he's willing to come to us and shows what he's got, and I'm sure we get him fit, Jimmy, they'll be outstanding for us. He'll dominate games for us, you know, absolutely dominate games for us. Bridge, I think that's what it is. It's just about keeping him fit consistently, you know. But if you look overall, I think he plays roughly 35 to 40 games. You look right through his career, on average, roughly. So, you know, if we could get a good 35, 40 games out of him in a season, then I think we'll get for that. It'll be phenomenal, Bridge.
Yeah, look, this season alone, I'm thinking maybe a dozen games. If we get a dozen games out of him between now and the end of the season, we'll have done very well. And let him stretch, let him grow into the team and do what needs to be done. Look, we've only got 15 games we've got to go.
16.
16. So forgetting about them tomorrow. So we've got 16 games to go, and that's going to be a lot of games. And he needs a couple of games in there and just to get bedded in, I think. And then we've got to, don't expect him to play every single game. I like to cosset players, good players. I like to be cosseted. I would choose my games as much as possible, so he can thrive at Ibrox. Let him play at Ibrox with a big crowd, and that'll bring him on as well. So that's the way I look at it. Can
I just say something before we get any further? I don't want to offend anybody, but I should have said tartan transgenders. Okay.
You know what the snowflake brigade's like now. You know what it's like. Everybody's offended.
Oh, definitely.
Especially that mob up across the city, FC Dignity. You know, so you need to be careful. But what's I going to say? Aye. Always cheated, never defeated, Bridge. That's their motto. Wow. You know. But I think we'll get some callers. I think we'll try and get the callers to come in and let's see what they've got to say. We've got a game tomorrow against that mob across East End. So go on here and tell us what it means to us to batter them tomorrow and how it makes you feel, because that's what it's about, beating the Celtic.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Jimmy, I was just thinking there, 7 games, nearly 2 years, just over 2 years since the last time we tasted defeat after that mob.
Yep, mate, and it'll be the same tomorrow. Can I see anything other than a win for us tomorrow? Definitely. I know that we've had this couple of wee glitches, mate, but I'm not wanting a bridge man tomorrow. I'm wanting a battering. I want to put them in their place, but I think the run will continue. Southside, it'll be onwards and upwards for us. Definitely feel that. Don't have any fear of them. Never have any fear.
Nah, no fear, mate. No fear whatsoever. You know, we've certainly turned the tables on them, and they know it. You know, so it's about keeping the hammer down and tapping them, Jimmy. You know, we've got nothing to fear. We're champions. You know, we've got the measure of them. We know how to beat them. We've been doing it. You know, so I'm confident, Bridge, same as Jimmy, and I take it you'll be the same, Bridge. There's nothing to fear going up here tomorrow night.
Oh, no, look, as I say, I think we've got a fantastic squad of players. It's getting them, shall we say, wound up in the best manner. And I'm sure our manager, as God is his experience, will be able to do that. And let them get there and don't walk out onto the park and say, well, I hope we win here. Walk out in the park and say, we're going to beat them. That's what we need to do. And be proud of yourself. You're Rangers, man. You're a Rangers team. Go there and play with all your pride and do the business. And you'll get there. So looking forward to it, no real. So looking forward to it.
Oh, butterflies have been gone all day, Bridge, man. Instead of it's anticipation. It's not a fear. It's just anticipation. I watching my team tomorrow. I mean, but Southside's right. You know, I mean, the last beat us in December 2019. That's the last time they beat us. You know, so come on, we've got to be confident tomorrow. You know, I mean, as I say, well, they couple of wee glitches, but I can't see any more. It'll be a good result for us tomorrow. We'll get my predictions later on, obviously, but I'm looking for a good victory tomorrow, Southside, definitely. But I can't wait. I might even have a wee vodka tomorrow. I've been off it, but I'm maybe to settle.
What do you think yourself? Where do you think it's won and lost?
Midfield for me, mate. Midfield for me. I think my midfield is crucial with this game. But back four takes care of itself because we know that the players will go in that back four. I mean, it's a multitude of four for any 6 or 7, I would say. But the midfield is a big bit in the middle there in the park. We need to nullify them. And I'm hoping we still continue. The team I've picked anyway is still going to play the 4-2-3-1. And I think that's a midfielder win. The back four takes care of itself. And obviously we know we've got Diallo as our right winger, which I'm confident he'll play tomorrow, and Ryan Kent on the other side. So yeah, I'm confident that the midfield will win the battles tomorrow. They're talking about there's other players getting flown from the other side of the world to play tomorrow. They're running scared. You know, they know that they're going to go up against a good Rangers team. Whether there's just 60,000 puddle drinkers in there doesn't mean a jot. You know, these 11 players cross that line Southside. They go to get their all for the Queen's 11, mate.
100%. Heart and hand, sword and shield. That's what's going to come out tomorrow, mate. Bridge, what's your thoughts, mate?
What do you there, pal? Every bit of the way. What do you?
Would you think? Would you like Barligan to come in for Bassey, Bridge?
Personally speaking, I think it'd be benefit. I think it would be benefit, particularly his last couple of games there. He wasn't 100%. I don't think. You know, no offence to the boy, you know, but I think he's been missing some headers, and he actually missed the ball completely. A wild swipe. And I'm not saying that Balogun's going to come out and be the be all and end all, but I think Balogun will give you a bit more strength and wisdom and experience than Bassey. Bassey might get carried away with the game. He might not. So obviously the manager is going to play what the manager says. Whoever he puts it, I'm behind them all the way.
I think Balogun will give you more positional sense, Bridge. You know, he knows where to be. We've watched Bassey get talked through the games. He's done his best. I think the last few games he's looked not so sharp as what he was a wee bit earlier in the season, playing that position. I think we've been lucky in some games where we've not been punished. We've gave away some chances, especially at Tynecastle. I know we went up there and beat them, but we gave them too many chances that day, you know.
Aye.
So I think we might be joined by a caller just a wee second. I think Ian's maybe just about to come in, but I think if it was up to me, I would maybe hope that Balogun would start for me. But if you give us a wee second, guys, I think we've been joined by Ian. How you doing, Ian?
No bad. How's you?
How you doing, buddy?
Good, pal.
No bad. On the signing of Ramsey and the Polish guy, I think they're two great signings. And I seen the Polish guy. I mean, he's tall, he's fast, and he can hit a ball. And Ramsey, we know all about him, and if we can keep him fit, well, I mean, he's going to be great for up until May or June when he's staying here. And for tomorrow night's game, I mean, I was seeing yesterday and the day when few other pods and that, a lot of Rangers ones sort of saying they'll go to fear and all that. I'm getting no fear, man. I mean, we're a better team than them. We've got a better squad than them. And we've got nothing to fear because, and I can't even, you ever heard 60,000 people dead silent? Because it'll be like that tomorrow night. You know what I mean? I'll be like a graveyard with 60,000 live bodies in it.
Road, mate. Ellen Road.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know, maybe it's some of the younger element and stuff, but I mean, don't get me wrong, you can't predict an Old Firm game, right? We know this. But we've no fear. We've got no fear of going up here tomorrow night, you know, and if anybody has, they shouldn't have. But if you got to be fearful about, top of the league, we're champions. We've already dominated them for the last 2 years. No, Jimmy says 2019-20, the last time they beat us. So we've got nothing to fear. We just got to improve a point. We're dominant. We're the world's most successful club, you know, so, and champions. So, nah, mate. I agree 100% with you.
I don't fear them at all. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, we're going there tomorrow night and we will win and we'll shock them because all I'm seeing on other pods with that lot are how scared we are, how we've scraped through games, and I'm going, I think you have done exactly the same, if no worse, and to look at refereeing decisions against you and for you and God knows what. I mean, so it's not been all plain sailing for them. And their defence, I know your defence was bad against Ross County, but their defence is mince every week. You know what I mean?
Ian, probably mistakes. It was mistakes, I think probably mistakes we gave up. It wasn't bad, it was just individual, well, 2 individual errors and a wee bit of a calamity between Borner and Golson.
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
we gave up, you know.
Our defence has been solid up until the Ross County game. And it was 3 really bad mistakes. But, I mean, what I'm saying is that their defence is just mince, and they know that. And that's why, I mean, they're trying to put this sort of a fear into us talking about themselves, but it's them that are the ones that are running scared. I mean, 25 players in before the game can start, trying every trick in the book. You know what I mean? But we'll see tomorrow night but I'm confident it's a Rangers win anyway, so I'm worried about nothing. I'll sleep well tonight, and I will sleep well tomorrow night.
I've not asked the boys yet, Ian, for their teams. I was going to leave it till after we have the tuning out for the second half.
No problem.
Who would you like to see up front or midfield or that? Have you got any idea who you fancy seeing tomorrow night?
I don't know, because you could name a team in Geo, probably put something completely different out.
You go with maybe between Roof, Sakala, Itten.
I wouldn't have Itten at all. I wouldn't even have Itten on the bench. I don't think he's, to be quite honest, I don't think he's Rangers. I know a lot of folks say he's not been given the chance, but I don't think he's Rangers class, and he's had enough matches to sort of approve it. All right, he scored against Stirling Albion, but so could have. So, I mean, I don't think Itten should be near the team at all. But I think Sakala, Roof, Diallo up front, Roof just, Aribo just behind them. I think it's just that's 4 names that's going to give them the fear, because their left back is total mince. I mean, he is total rubbish. Diallo is going to have a field day with him tomorrow night. I mean, he's going to turn him and say, look, all Wellingtons that are going to need the water run at them a rainy day. I mean, you know what I mean? The left back, I mean, they're really worrying about the left back, even trying to get another one in, and they've not done it, so good on them. I'm not bothered about that.
No, I think JFK, I think it's just pace we hit them with, innit? We can hit them with pace for each flank.
Hit them with pace. You know? Look, Diallo tomorrow is going to run a riot. Right, as I say, that's what we've been missing. You know, we've got Diallo in the right and Ryan Kent in the left, and if Barisic and Tav stick to their guns and go to the halfway line and only go into their half when necessary, just let the 2 wingers go further and then let's hope in the middle, who I'm going to pick for my centre forward, can get in there and put the ball in the back of the net. They're going to get roasted tomorrow. You know what they're going to do? They're hoping to bring people back tomorrow that's going to... They maybe try and kick us off the park tomorrow. And in a way, that's why I'm glad that Aaron Ramsey's not playing. You know, because they'll go tomorrow to try and hurt us. So we need to be bigger than that. And just go with it with pace. You know, I'd love to see, as I said earlier on, so I'd love to see us beat them. Like everybody, 3 or 4-0, mate. Just to put them in their place. Go and stand in the corner, put the dunce's hat on, and stop talking rubbish. You know, and the rubbish I'm reading and hearing for all sorts of other places who are now jumping on the bandwagon that this is the greatest Celtic team gone is absolute garbage. And I know that's where you're coming for, Ian. You know, it's rubbish, pal. I know that. And let's not annoy us, but let it annoy us in a good way, and let's go and do them. Because we don't have any fear of them.
I mean, it doesn't bother me at all. When I read their comments, I just sit here and laugh. And I go, oh, really? Is that what you think? You know what I mean? I find not half of them, but 99% of their comments are just hilarious, stupid and ridiculous. And I don't even think half of them know anything about football. Exactly. And I'm going, you know what I mean? You're in for a shocking Wednesday night, boys. You know what I mean? You're in for a shock and a rude awakening and put back in your bolts.
I think it's just the fact that if we're motivated, come out with the right attitude like we should be, you know, we're going there, we know what's involved, going up there and battling them and beating them off in the park. So if we get with the right attitude and get a good start straight away, like we're hoping, then we'll create chances against them. You know, they're too open. They play with 2 at the back. We should have enough certainly to open them up, but I'm not worried about them Bridge at all. It's just about us playing our own game. And I just put down to Ross County was a blip. Individual errors for our goalkeeper, centre back, and it led to losing 8 goals. We've been pretty solid all season. Performances haven't been great. But you don't get many great performances in Old Firm games. So we know what involves in that game. We just go up there, we win the battle, we win the game, we come back with the 3 points, and that's all we're interested in. Yeah. If we get a good performance, all the better. But Bridge, it's just about getting the 3 points, eh?
Well, of course, that's exactly what it is. As far as I'm concerned, what Jimmy was saying there about sometimes they try to kick the better players off the park. Well, they do, and it's quite often. It's just we sometimes, and that's the boy Diallo, and his marvellous feet, great wizardry with his feet, and he's got to just watch it for the first 10 minutes of the game. So they upset them too much in case they just 2-foot tackle them, and that's that done. Because that's all it would take for them. It's going to be a 2-foot tackle. They'll take a booking, heavy tackle, bang, and then they'll know all about it. He just needs to watch what he's doing. Very quick, the boy. And we need him to be on the ball and do the business. Obviously, I don't think he's going to score a goal in the first 5 minutes, but it would be wonderful, wouldn't it? Imagine that happening. Oh, fantastic. Well, I mean, seriously, that's how easy it was. The way that goal for us at the weekend came about, first goal. And the boy was right in position. And it's been a while since we saw anybody in the correct position and putting the ball in the net. It's been brilliant. Brilliant. Oh,
well, we want a good right winger, and as far as I'm concerned, we've got the man that's going to do the job for us.
Yeah, brilliant.
I think a guy's brilliant.
Ian, did you know how Itten had a couple of good wee touches in a game on Saturday, set up a couple of chances, and Arfield and Tav didn't take them. He had nice wee flicks in the box, knocked the ball into Aribo to set up the first goal. I know he should maybe have, I think he got his feet tied second half, trying to get a shot off at goal, but I feel like frustrated for him, you know.
I mean, you feel sort of frustrated for a lot of the players. I mean, and I do feel sorry for it because he tries so hard, and it sometimes makes the wrong move, or it goes the wrong way, or makes a mistake, or instead of taking his shot on, he passes it, and you sort of think, oh no, you know what I mean? But I mean, the amount of shots that we had against Ross County, I think it was 25 or something like that, and the amount of shots that should have been in the net that we didn't take. I mean, that game was well out of sight. It could have been 6-7-0. you know what I mean, rather than a 3 each.
Mm-hmm. I think he's looked a bit cumbersome. Ian, would you agree? Maybe a wee bit cumbersome at times. He's looked a wee bit rusty, but I see something in there. I think, I'm not saying he's starting every week or anything now, but I think if he's got something, Jimmy. I know you're not 100% either. You're more in the camp that he's no, but he's tall. He can win balls in the air. He can run into channels, and I think that's what he likes to do. And I just think we've not fun that yet. But I accept that you've got to produce when you're on the park. But I thought he was an easy target for a few people after the game on Saturday. I mean, the biggest culprits on the park was our goalkeeper and our centre, two of centre backs and a left back.
I mean,
you know, and a lot of people went back to it, you know.
Aye, I mean, it was getting a lot of flack when the flack wasn't due his way. It was due at the other end of the park in the defence. You know, so I do feel sorry for him. I feel sorry for quite a lot of players that really tried so hard against Ross County. But this is a point I forgot to bring up, what I was wanting to bring up. We're not just against Ross County, we do this against a lot of teams. We score maybe one goal. Instead of keep going and finish them up, what's this sitting back rubbish all about? And we start to defend for the halfway line and give them possession. And then we maybe score a second goal and we do the exact same thing. And that's been our downfall, because when we do that, we're allowing them back in the match. I mean, we did it against Ross County. We could have buried them 4-0, 5-0. But no, when it came to 3-2, we sat back. Why? I didn't get it, why we just sat back, even though we played some nice balls about the park, but we mostly sat back as if we were like, right, 20 minutes to go, we'll just defend this lead and we'll get 3 points, and it didn't work out that way.
The thing for me was it was concentration, Ian. I mean, it should never have been a corner kick. I mean, I don't know what Aribo was doing, farting about with the ball there. They should have got the ball out the park, got the team together and got themselves regrouped. But for whatever reason, he was wanting to pass it back, and it's a corner, you know. So it's concentration for me. Well, tomorrow night for a lot of players, it's got to be 110% concentration, if there is anything like 110%, because they're playing against this mob and they're playing in front of 60,000 puddle drinkers, right? So that's what they've got to. Look, it's going to be noisy. We all know that. Even being there, when we've managed to get tickets to go and see our team there, it's noisy. But when there's Nanias there to shout the team on, right? So they guys there will need to be 100% focused on what they've got today. And the good thing is that Gio's played in it, so he's got to pass on that feeling that he had played in it. And there's other players who have played in it before. So let's go out there tomorrow and enjoy it. But at the same time, go out and compete well. And I think they've changed the referee tomorrow, innit? It was supposed to be Gollum, but it's news beaten into it.
Is it
Madden? Can't remember who it is. Is it Madden? Aye. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Bridge.
I think it's a good thing.
Bridge, what do you think of that, Bridge?
It's a good thing.
Aye.
It depends what Masonic call they say is what it belongs to.
You know, my experience of beating has been seriously, as well named, cheating, beating. Brilliant, really. Some of the things he's done against the Rangers are just outlandish, man. Just disgraceful. It should never. Sometimes you think that guy shouldn't even be playing against the, what do you call it, amateurs. He shouldn't get a game at junior level. He's just a poor referee, and he knows it. But you know, I remember that. You'll all remember it. We're playing the Hibs, and Tavernier goes in, wins the ball, and runs away, and that Anthony Stokes jumps in his back, arms around his neck, and falls him to the ground. And then everybody said, the 2 years are getting booked. Like, what is that about? How on earth could that be? And that's when Andy Halliday gets sent off for nothing.
Yeah.
They said he put the head stuck hitting somebody. No, he didn't. And that he got his red card rescinded. Just disgraceful stuff. And that's what.
Well, right, lads, I'm going to go for now. And thanks for letting me
go take care, pal. Enjoy the game tomorrow, pal.
Always good to hear from you.
I'll enjoy it, no problem. So you take care, enjoy the game, lads, right?
We will do, Ian. All the best. Right, guys, if you two want to put yourselves on to mute, we're going to have a tune.
Good night.
Every Saturday we follow, we cheer the boys in blue, the most successful team in football. We're Scotland's gallant few, though at times they have been hard, we've followed near and far. You will always hear us roaring from the stands in Ibrox Park. Successful team in football, we're Scotland's gallant few, who times they have been hard, we've followed near and far. You will always hear us roaring from the stands at Ibrox Park.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Oh, he's back, guys. Aye, Toogie's back.
Yep.
Aye, what a tune that is, Jimmy, isn't it?
Oh, it's a
brilliant
great tune.
Oh, I love that belt to do it tomorrow before the game kicks off, believe me. Allow me a few other ditties.
Yeah.
You know, so aye, looking forward to it tomorrow, mate. That tune just gets it going, doesn't it? You know, the build up.
Definitely, mate, definitely.
And I'm the big man for the drum on the video as well, huh?
Aye, he's in it. Aye. He still keeps asking, do I want his autograph? But he keeps asking me to sign cheques for him, so I don't know what he's doing there.
Aye, I know. He took me to a castle no long ago as well, so he did.
Did he? Aye.
Aye, took me out to a wee castle up in Dundee. Aye, pre-match drinks before the game. You know, so
Lovely
he's some
stuff.
man. He's some man.
Scotland's gallant few.
Better believe it, Bridge.
Whoa. My wife hates that number, by the way. It's a dirge. It's a dirge.
Oh, it's a belter. It's a belter, mate. Especially when the whole Ibrox is going at that and the UB start it and it just starts to ripple around the stadium. Unbelievable.
It's an anthem, isn't it? It's an anthem.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll come to you first, right? I'll go differently this time. Usually you get to go second, but I'll come to you first, right? Regarding the team, your team that you would pick for the Mora. And then we'll go to JFK and see if there's much of a difference.
Yeah, I would go with it's the same back five. Goalkeeper, McGregor, Tav, Golson. Got to play. I would love to play Balogun, but I actually don't know if he's fit. So, but I need to say I need to continue with Bassey. Much to my chagrin, was that what you call it? So it'd be the same five for Saturday. They can pick themselves up again, and I would go with Mara on the right, Arfield centre, Aribo on the left, and then Diallo on the right up front, and Roof through the middle, and Kent on the right, on the left half.
Aye, okay. Joint of that, JFK.
Exact same team as me, apart from I put Balogun in for what do you call it, for Bassey, and I would give Roof a chance up front. So that'd be Tavernier, Golson, Balogun, Barisic, Kamara, Arfield, and the three would be Diallo, Aribo, Kent, and then Kamara, Roof up front, and have Sakala and obviously Itno on the bench. What about yourself, Southside?
Goalkeeper, obviously, McGregor, Tav, Golson. I would like to play Balogun. If he's got much fitness about him, I would certainly put him in. I think come set pieces and stuff, Jimmy, especially when we're attacking, Golson's a sort of only threat. I know Sakala scored a couple of goals for the head, but I think Balogun would be a bigger threat for us, and if he's got enough fitness in him, I'd like to play him with Barisic. Midfield, probably similar. I think I'm sticking to be Kamara and Arfield and the three up front that you said. I would probably go with Sakala through the middle.
All right.
Then Roof, just my own personal opinion this time for this game. But he has to start finishing the chances he's getting, don't you, Jimmy? I mean, that one the other night, but that's the team I would go for. I think that's good enough. I think we've got plenty of pace in the team. Obviously, we'll start with the new boy in the right wing, but he should have bags of confidence. He might bully sell it early because of the pace of the game, so maybe need to look to change that later on. But I would start with that team, mate, and somewhere if he went with Roof, it wouldn't make any difference. Bridge, there seem to be three decent teams, eh?
They are indeed, pal. And there's only maybe one player of a difference there in choice. But look, I have to say, I said it at the start there, I would love to play Balogun, but I just don't know if he's fit, or how fit he is, should I say. Because I think he had a great game. The last time we played Celtic, it was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And I'd want that out of him.
The gaffer did say he was fit, he was travelling, Bridge.
Yeah, but I'm saying I don't really know if he's got the fitness. If he's got the fitness, I would play Balogun. I'd definitely play Balogun, because this game could tear Bassey apart. If he makes one wee mistake at the early starts of the game, he might never recover it, So, for his own benefit as well, But actually, Balogun deserves to play if he's fit, but simply because of the game he played at Ibrox against them. I think he's a good player, Balogun. Very strong. Won't take any nonsense.
Yeah.
I think it's set pieces and all, Jimmy. I think we've got to look at that, and I think we've got to have a bit more danger for corner kicks and that, and set pieces that we'll create. But I think we'll beat them on the deck. I think we'll play passes and we'll walk through them, But just for that point of view, I think he'd give his mare. If we get a good even 60, 70 minutes with him, and he done well, because the last time, if you remember, Bridge, he was playing right side when he played against him, but you want him in the centre of defence, and I think if he's fit at all, my preference would be to play him. No, because Bassey's done much wrong, Jimmy. He's tried his best and he's done what he can.
No, I agree with you. And I said here a couple of weeks ago, and myself and Oxshare had a wee bit of I tell you, he's been our best player for the last 7 or 8 games, and I can understand that, but there's always something about Bassey for me, and I would always prefer Balogun, and I'd actually prefer Hollander, but obviously he's a while away. But I think pace-wise, as I said earlier on, you've got Tav running up that right wing, and now we have got that right winger, which is Diallo, and then the other side you've got Barisic, and we know what him and Ryan Kent bring to it. So Balogun and Goldson in that middle, the centre defence. I mean, if Ryan Jack had been fully fit, I'd have put him in instead of Arfield. I'm quite happy for Arfield to be in there with Kamara and with Joe Aribo just in front of them. Obviously, we're two wingers, and as I pick Kamara Roof, and I can see you're thinking of Sakala south side. I can 100% see that. But as you rightly said, he's got to start putting these away. I mean, he's got a big smile on his face. Well, let's see him put the ball in the back of the net. You know, tomorrow night would be good. But look, I think all our teams are quite similar. Maybe one player missing it for each of our teams and that, but it's a great team, guys. That team's capable of beating anybody on the day. So we've got to hope that that's what they can go and do, mate. Just let's hope it's happening for us.
It's good the fact that we're picking slightly different players, and we've actually got players missing out the team. You know, like Alfie and Hadji being out injured. And we've discussed Ryan Jack. I'd love Ryan Jack to start tomorrow. Yeah. If the manager thought he could do a job for a good period of time, because he has been back training, but it's just a long time that Ryan Jack's been out. But I'd love Ryan Jack to be in there tomorrow night in the middle of the park, you know. But I think we've actually been joined by a Ryan Jack fan, I believe. I think it's Andy for Leeds, Andy?
Good evening, chaps. Everybody okay? Hi, Andy. All right, bud. How everybody all right? I take it.
Yeah, we're all good, pal.
I wish I was as confident as you guys. I've never in my life feared them or cared about them, right? You know, but I wish it was as confident as you, right enough. I don't. I can't. On current performances, Sheep, Saturday, Dundee United, games like that, you know, I'll just worry slightly on that. I would like to. I think the Oddie fans and the Oddie self is a collected bunch of players to get out there and get into them tomorrow night and show them, you know, that's why we are champions. I don't think there's been much evidence all season on our games that we've played, but you know, hopefully tomorrow night's the start. I think that's a great boost bringing Ramsey in. You know, I think that gives hopefully gives the players a lift and all that. So, you know, I think we've got to set about them straight away, as I always say, repeating myself right enough, but I think we've got to push them on the back foot, hopefully get that early goal, as I always keep saying, silence them, then start winning the midfield. That's where you win all firm games. Also, it's when you have your time, so you've got that 15-minute spell where you're on top of them. You must do something in that, because if it don't in an all firm game, invariably sometimes, or most times, it come back and bites you on the backside. So, right attitude. I keep saying it. It sounds like I'm repeating myself right enough, but I mean, I don't think we've had that in a lot of the games this season. That's the slight thing that worries me about that game. Also, the fact that we've not lost in 2 years. Well, the law of averages tends to level that up, doesn't it, as well? So I think we have to be, every one of us have to be bang on from number 1 to 11, and then the subs that are going to take part in the game. I'll give you a little throw up as I see it. I'm going to gamble here, and I'm playing Jack, Arfield, and Aribo in midfield, and see where we get with it. I'm taking Bassey out and playing Balogun, and up top it's got to be Kent, Roof, and obviously, well, we've got to play him now. It's going to be that boy from Manchester. That worries me in an old firm game, to be honest with you, but that's where I would go. I've just gambled right enough and just say, right, come on. I think we need some digging there. And if we even get 60, 50 minutes with Jack, steady as us. And as Gary, I think it was Gary, one of the guys said they tend to tire in the last half hour. I don't watch their game, so I don't really know that, but if that's the case, that's it go. So that's my wee take on it. So if you want to give me a kick in for that, right, on you go.
You're entitled to your opinion, Andy, as always. You've got to get Kamara in your team, and Jimmy.
No, I don't rate him. You go back on the thing, he's got too many. He slows the game down, he don't take a shot, and he was underpassing all day there on Saturday, and that wee line pass back as he does. If you look over a few games collectively over the years, he's not ready for that from his game. You know what I mean?
I don't see him taking him out, Andy, but yeah.
No, I won't, but that's just how
Brandon
I would go
Barker's
there,
turned up across here before and started, you know what I mean? So, you never know. But what do you think, Jimmy?
Aye, I mean, I don't see him leaving Kamara. I agree with what Andy's saying there. I mean, I didn't set the head on fire, did he, against Ross County? But I can't see him. I mean, Kamara's one of his first 11, you know, and I can't see him changing it. But the only changes I think it will make will be Balogun for Bassey and probably Roof or obviously Sakala. I don't think it will start. But look, you've rightly said here, the gaffer always throw a curveball and they always do. And, you know, should listen to Rangers radio more often and would maybe tell her gaffer would pick the same team as we did. If only that was that easy, Southside, you know. But no, look, we've got to hope tomorrow that the team that he picks is a team that wins as a game, and I'm sure he will. On the night, they've all just got to perform. I mean, I can understand what Andy's saying, but Andy, I'm very confident, mate. I've never been more confident a game against the Puddle Drinkers in a long time. I can't see anything in them, you know, that frightens us. You know, we could be our own worst enemy tomorrow, and that's the only thing that will beat us. We should go out and destroy this team. That's that I feel anyway, pal.
Yeah, well, I tend to agree with what you're saying there, definitely. Sorry about that. Where'd you go?
No, I was going to use going Bridge. And Bridge, we haven't been playing great, right? We understand some of the games we've played. I think second half against Ross County is probably sort of the best we've sort of played, even although we conceded. So our performances haven't been great, but we hadn't really been losing many goals either. We'd been doing enough in games for large periods, and then, like we said, maybe dropped half. But you don't nothing to worry about tomorrow, Bridge. You think?
Our record against Notts County for the past 2 seasons has been actually pretty poor. They've scored a lot of goals against us. Most of the goals that's been scored against us has actually been by them. So, what Andy was saying about Kamara, it was absolutely true. Passing was not crisp and it wasn't long enough. An awful lot of short passes. Given that and given all the things, I still think Kamara will play. I'll go with the team that I picked up, and the ones up front, you can jock it around and put Sakala in if you want. That's not a problem to me, rather than Roof. But seriously, I think we need to keep the same defence. That gives a bit of stability, providing they don't do any more disastrous stuff. And the midfield, very good. I would suggest that. And Kamara's part of that. Arfield shoring them up in the middle. The only problem I've got with Arfield is that he kind of disappears in a game, and then he bursts through and things like that. And sometimes when he doesn't appear to be in the game, that's where we're weakest. But I wouldn't be surprised if Arfield's in and he starts playing, because he loves playing against them. Loves it. So as far as I'm concerned, we keep the selected teams, because all 3 of us have picked very similar teams anyway, you know. All 4 of us, sorry.
Andy, I was going to ask you something. Obviously, we've signed the boy Sands, right? And he's the hodding midfielder. So, by accounts, if you played Arfield as your centre, he has got a habit of bursting from midfield and into the box, because that's what we like him doing. But do you think Sands has got a chance of featuring tomorrow? Then I'll go to Jimmy after you.
Oh, I wouldn't go there with I mean, he don't look bad, but he don't look anything. I don't think he's anything better than what we've got, given the fact that you've got to give a boy time to come on and settle. I get what I tend to make my judgment's pretty quick on players, and I usually stick with it no matter what then. But I don't... He's all right, you know what I mean? But I wouldn't have introduced him like the Aberdeen game like he did, you know, they eased him in, and then we could possibly see him as he's feeling his way into the team. I wouldn't play him tomorrow night. I wouldn't play the boy from Manchester. I would have Sashin in, to be honest with you. But obviously, it's a Worrell Ojo thing, innit? He must play. That don't sit well with me anyway, whether he's a good player or not. You know,
I'm not sure if there's a must play, Andy, but I'd imagine there'll be a certain amount of games. But I mean, he looked all right. I think he just lacked fitness at the end of the weekend, you know.
Didn't he do any tracking back though, did he? He was good.
That's the thing.
Tracking back, there was nothing, none of
100% tomorrow night, Andy. Everybody needs to be running, busting a gut 110%. We can't carry passengers, you know. That's no we could do in an old firm game, and the majority of our players know that, you know. So if we're only getting into the team with one or two that's no played regular, then they'll need to be up to speed, and we can't afford to carry passengers in an old firm game, you know. But I don't know, Jimmy, do you think Sands has got a chance?
No, I'm not want to be derogatory to the boy. I don't think he's got it at the moment. I think he needs a few cameo appearances. But for tomorrow night, no for me. I think Dalio's has got to play for the start. I think he ran his sale out. I agree, he's got to do a bit more tracking back. But I'm looking for that. That's the piece that we're missing. Because unfortunately, Scott Wright's no got it. And we know that Hadji didn't seem to have it either when he was fit. So, no, for me, Sands is a bench at the moment. Southside, that's where I would leave him just now. We've got 3 big games coming up. You know, but let's take tomorrow night's game first. But we know we've got the spoon. Well, it's the sheep. No, it's not a sheep in it. No, it's Watery Farts on Sunday, and then it's the spoon burners on the Wednesday at Ibrox. 2 games at Ibrox. So 3 big games. But the tomorrow night game, let's get that out of the road first. But for me, Sands is a bench player at the moment, mate.
Bridge, any thoughts on Sands? I mean, at the end of the day, he's Gio's player. He's brought him in. Do you think he could get a chance playing tomorrow beside Kamara?
Personally speaking, no, I don't think he'll get a game. He may come on in the second half sometime. I don't think it's. I think the game is going to be too much for his head because youngsters get easily carried away, don't they? But I don't think he's got that much experience to be playing in an old firm game that means so much, and it means a lot. And then there's going to be these 60,000 supposedly mental people in the stands there calling them all the names under the sun for nothing. You know what I mean? I don't know whether he'll be able to handle that, to be honest. I'm just not saying too much about it, but I don't think he'll play any time other than come in the second half or something like that.
It's options, isn't it? I mean, if we're sort of going through the squad, like we're saying, Andy, if Ryan Jack was a bit fitter and had a bit more game time, he'd have been ideal to go into the centre of mid for us. Obviously, we've got Lundstrom, but
no.
I would thought that might be your reply.
Why is he not like Lundstrom?
I just don't like him. I'm not swearing enough. He's got a look of fear about him. See when he gives interviewing all that, Jesus Christ Almighty! You're looking at that guy's eye. You'd want to take him on every day of the week. I just don't rate him at all. He's got nothing. He offers nothing for me. Not at all. I know he got his man of the matches, but you see the games he got his man of the matches in. All the players around him were not very good as well. So what's the hard to get them? No, I don't rate him at all. I'll give you one if you want to laugh, guys. Even your man Alex was on about getting him sold there yesterday. He was his champion, wasn't he? There you go.
Play him at centre back.
No,
play him at centre back.
Aye, I'm not wanting him to play at centre back. He's wanting him sold yesterday.
Yes.
Jimmy, do you think we've actually played Lundstrom in his actual position? Because I don't think he played there at Sheffield United. I think he played either wide left sort of midfield or wide right.
We did, mate. We're playing him out of position. Aye. The tomorrow night's game is a kind of game you like to see a player but like Lundstrom playing. But I don't think he's ready for it in that position. You're 100% right. So there's nothing there for him at the moment. He's obviously going to be a bench player. I actually thought he'd have went during the transfer window. I don't think anybody wants to pay $5 million for him because that's what he's worth. You know, that's his value. $5 million. Aye, well, we got him for nothing, basically.
Right.
So,
I'll come across you guys. I think we'll be joined by Liz. How you doing, Liz?
Oh, sorry. Oh, you less of that. They're so cruel to me, aren't they?
Aye, how you doing, Liz, anyway?
I'm fine, yourself?
Aye, good. Were you hoping Hollander would be playing tomorrow?
No, I knew he wouldn't be back for a couple of weeks, but I was absolutely delighted to hear actually for Gio saying he's just a few weeks away. That's even better, is it?
Aye, that's what we're looking for, Jimmy, to get Hollander back.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I don't think Balogun will be there at the end of the season. You know, I think he was quite lucky to get an extension on that contract. For me, it would be Tavernier, Goldson, Hollander, and Barisic in that back four all day long. But I'm desperate to see Hollander back. I think he's a fantastic centre defender. So we'll just need to wait and see. For what I've been reading and seeing, I think he's about 3 or 4 weeks away from actually even making a team appearance. So let's hope that he starts to get into the team before the end of the season, because I think we're going to need him, mate. It's big games coming up, especially after we knocked Dortmund out of the Europa League, you know.
Aye, definitely. What do you think, Andy? I think we'll be missing the big man, because him and Goldson have been good together, eh?
Oh, he's the best defender at the club, hands down for me. Like, you know, I think he what he lacks in pace and all that. That's the reason he probably gets all the injuries if you watch him, because he dies in front of everything, doesn't he? He gets stuck in. He's a good reader of the game and all right enough, you know. So I mean, the sooner we get him back, but there again, you're talking the length of time he's out, and then you know you've got to get him up to match fit. So the games this season are going to be running out for him if you look at it from that point of view. But yeah, he's the best one at the club. So hopefully he gets back well this time. Next time he comes back, and he's another one, and he's like Jack. He's out quite a lot all the time, you know.
His record's not been great, Andy.
No, even when we signed him, he wasn't good, was he? He was a bad record out.
He's about 50, close to 50 or 60 games in the 3 seasons he's been with us. Yeah. He had a couple of injuries. He's had a couple of injuries, obviously, you know, and he was out for a bit of time. But aye, he's not always played as many games as we probably would have hoped. Bridge, yeah.
That's a shame.
Yeah, it's a shame, because I'm a big fan of that boy when we brought him. 6 feet 3.5 or something like that. Left-footed. My dream. I wanted another 2 inches. If we got him at 6 feet 5 and left-footed, what a difference he made. Brought calm and balance to the left side of the game. And I think it's a sin. That was quite a bad injury he had, and got to feel for him. And let's hope he gets back clean and clever, back to his game, because he is a wonderful player. The best reader of the game at Ibrox at the moment. The best reader of the game at Ibrox. Wonderful player. Come on, big man.
I used to hear a lot of people say he used to lack pace and that, but I never really know. I didn't really think he lacked pace, you know. I think he always positioned himself well on the park, you know. I never really
positional sense. His positional sense is brilliant, mate. You can see that all the time with Hollander, all the time.
Aye, and Liz certainly was a big fan of Hollander's. That's a favourite. Cardboard cutout in that house.
I like them. I think they do well. I just want them to put in a performance tomorrow so that we can get back on track of winning ways, because I think to be fair, we're getting away silly goals. We'll put that behind us, and I think tomorrow, that players will go out and they'll perform tomorrow.
Okay, I'll just cut across you. I think we've been joined by Robert.
Oh.
Evening, guys. Evening, Liz.
Evening.
Hi, Robert.
How you doing, Robert?
Evening, Robert.
Not bad. Good show tonight, Southside. Good show, mate.
All right, thanks very much. What's on your mind, buddy?
No, I just obviously the game tomorrow night. Just listening to everybody's team there. My own personal choice of team is not very far from what the rest of the guys have said. I would have had Balogun starting. If he's fit enough to travel, I'm sure he'll be fit enough to start the game. In terms of middle of the park, for me, I would go with Kamara in Arfield. I would love to go with Jack in Arfield, but I just think it's probably a wee bit too soon to fling him in at the start of a kind of game at this type and magnitude. Forward-wise, I would go Kent, Aribo, Sakala and Roof. I would have Diallo on the bench for looking to bring him on the last half an hour or so. They tire in the last 50 minutes. He could help them really bad. But a bit confident tomorrow night, and hopefully we can go and get the job done.
I see your rationale in that, Robert. You know, sticking them on the bench and playing Sakala. What do you think, Liz?
I've got, this is my team for tomorrow, is McGregor, Tab, Goldson, Balogun, Barnes, Kamara, Aribo, Arfield and Sakala. No, but I'm not sure about whether I would put Sands in, but I think that's my choice. I don't know. But I definitely would put my fashion in, because I think he can be. I think he'll be better tomorrow, and then I think Roof will come on as a sub. But I don't know. That's only my opinion. I don't know.
No. It's entitled to your opinion, Liz, and it's a good team. What do you think, Jimmy? Sakala maybe being on the right and leaving out. I know you didn't fancy it, but you can see Robert's rationale in it.
But leaving out Dalio.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think you've got to play Dalio. I can't. Sakala's trying to play on that right. He's no got that pace that Dalio's got. We're crying out for that type of pace, and we've got to play him. Even if we get him for an hour. I think it was Robert that said there. I mean, their last 3 games, I know they scraped through, but see in the second half, they die in the second half. They don't seem to have the legs. And we need to keep going. The teams that have been playing the last 3 games, they've no the legs, but the other teams no went for them. They've stood back. We can't afford to do that tomorrow night. So that's why for the first hour of the game, we must have Kent and Dalio running at them with Tavernier and Barisic are right and left, doing the same up at the halfway line. No, for me, I would have Sakala or Roof. If I had my preference, it would be a Roof. But I certainly wouldn't start hitting. It's just my personal preference. I definitely have Balogun in for Bassey. Bassey's had his time for me at this moment. No saying he's had his time at Rangers, but I think that especially that mistake he made against Ross County, for me, it was terrible. But it's a couple of glitches, 3 glitches, but it was 3 goals we gave away. So no, I would certainly start with Dalio.
Right.
No,
Robert,
option.
Andy Felix, he's got a confidence issue for tomorrow, but we know we're going up there to batter them tomorrow. You confident tomorrow we'll go up there and get a result? No problem?
I think it'll be a close game, but obviously over the 90 minutes, our fancies, we know how they play. They're quite forward and they're quite fresh in the way they've played against us previously. We know their fullbacks will push in and high up the park, very narrow. So that's why I went for my choices, Kent and Sakala, just to be a bit more direct and get in behind them. But in terms of getting the result, close game, but we'll take it. The performance needs to be as well. It's not just the result. Obviously, you take a scrappy 1-0, but I think performance levels, especially in an old-firm game, you want to have a good high level, and if you bash them, brilliant. If you take a 1-0, hey, listen, it's 3 points at the end of the day.
I'll take a win, Robert, to start with. I know, I get it. Go up there, put on a good performance and show them what we're made of and give them a right doing. I would love nothing better than that. But I've said it over the years, it doesn't matter what type of form you're in, Andy, and that's the thing. We've seen games where you've had good form going into it, but form goes out the window. It's about turning up on the day.
Yeah, definitely. Apart from when we hit the buffers there, when we were getting hammered off in 4 and 5, which was a no-brainer at the time. You take the games out and that, but if you look at any of the competitive Old Firm games, you could have the widest favourite going into them. That don't happen. There's many, many times. They should have won and we didn't. We won and vice versa. So you can never. I never overconfident. Predict Old Firm games right enough. But I even says to Shugs in the first time Malay following Rangers, I'd be happy coming away with a draw. What I don't want to be seeing on Wednesday night is them on top of us, and I just have a feeling that what team would fall away. Would be up for the battle, and then you look at the old picture on it, and then you say to yourself, all that work we've done, all that coefficient to get in, to get there, to get yourself to walk straight into the league, to let them walk in, that just wouldn't sit with me at all. In fact, that would break my heart. So come on, Rangers, let's get it going. Don't get me wrong, I might sound a bit down about it, but my passion's always there for them, and I'll be as up the same as everybody else. But you just got to make sure you've got when you get the minutes in the games in these games, you've got to do something. And if you get that 15-20 minute spell, you've always got to do them in Old Firm games, and you always win Old Firm games 9 out of 10 with the battle in the midfield. If we dominate the midfield, I think we'll be okay.
It's always the way. It's how you start, Andy, into it, and you want to get the first tackle and put a marker down, you know, and it's just
it's
a bit
one of the
dominating.
bum in the air, but with a referee like that, you knowing that look straight off, you know, so you can't do them like back in the day in our old firm games. You fought them and those, you put one big tackle on, you lay the marker down, send the guy in the stands or whatever, and that pumps the mud. The crowd's all right, we're not none of our fans there, but you know, we could stick one of them on you and not get booked. It would be great, wouldn't it? Just lay a marker on and let them know.
I think we know how they'll start. I think they'll come out usual traps early, like seem to be doing. But you know, it's like when you go to these games, you maybe weather the storm for the first 5-10 minutes, and then you just stamp your authority on the game. Yeah. We've been up there before, and we've been up 2 goals in 5 minutes before up there and that. So we know what it's about. It's just about making sure that we're neat and tidy and we're up for the fight. And that's come back with the right result. And if it the worst, I'd accept a draw. But I know that doesn't interest me, but it would suit us. It doesn't suit them. It would suit us to come away with that. But we've got a better squad than now, and we've got a better team. So there shouldn't be any reason why we don't take the 3 points, Liz.
No, I agree. I mean, as much as I hate to say this, I watched a bit of their game on Saturday. And I just didn't think they played well. And then when I looked back at the Rangers playing, I thought Rangers just gave a silly goal. What they need to do is go out there tomorrow and put on one hell of a fight. Excuse my language, I never swore. And I thought, if our players can do brilliant and just show us how well they can play, I think we'll come away with a good result. But we need to play excellent football.
Win the battle, Liz. Win the battle.
Win the battle. It's exactly
win the battle.
Win the battle.
Bridge knows all about that, winning a battle, didn't you, Bridge?
Just a couple of times. But no, you know, when you're playing football and it's, this is the top. This is the top of our league, football-wise. This is it. The 2 big teams playing against each other, and sometimes you could say it's a draw. You know, you could say, well, it can only be a draw because one's not that much better than the other type of thing, you know. And as a 6-1 or a 5-1 or something for the other side, it's just incredible the way it swings. But the one thing, Liz is right. What we really need, and the other boys as well, Andy and Robert, it's going to be tough, and we need to play. We need to come out with our A game. We can't come out with any watery games of football. We've got to play with our A game. That's to our strength. Find out who we are, and get fit. Get the ball to feet, and most of the players that we've got in the team. Because they're none of these giants other than the bigger boys. They're no big toppers unless you put it in. The rest of them are quite maybe 6 feet or something like that. But when you're playing against some big lumps at the back for them, and they have got some big lumps at the back as well. So we just need to do that. Bring our A game, go and do it, and play to the best of your ability. Show the world what you've got. Show them.
Right, guys, here's a wee second. We've been joined by Bob J.
You have indeed. How you getting on tonight, chaps?
Hi, Bob J.
Hi, good, big man.
Yeah, Bob.
All right, I'm just saying that I'm just thinking to myself that I hope that the sparkle we've been missing this past few weeks returns tomorrow. We've all been buoyed with Aaron Ramsey's signing. It's given the place a huge lift. Let's hope it gives the squad a huge lift and go out here and do the business tomorrow night. As you says, Bridge, play to the best of your ability. Don't get caught up with them. Just do what we do and go at them. Contain them because they'll come roaring at you like a lion. You know that. Just contain them and then just hit them on the break like Walter Smith used to do and bury them. That's what I hope happens tomorrow night, boys. Because they're nothing great. They're beatable.
Yeah. See the thing is, Bob J. I'll come to JFK in a minute. No, but I'd be like, see, sitting on that team bus going up there tomorrow night, I'd be sitting there, I'd be saying to every player, see me come off this bus, you know what you're going to see. You know what they're going to give you. You know what? I'd be walking that walk when they're getting the Bears pelters, and I'd be giving it right back to them. So I would absolutely chest puffed out and be giving them it back, because being up there, that's where the fight starts. The minute the team come off that bus, you know, when we get up there to the Chamber of Secrets.
That's the worst walk in British football.
Of course it is. They do it deliberately, Bob J. But do you know what? It doesn't matter. Get off that bus with your chest puffed out. No, You play for Glasgow Rangers, and you give them a bit as you're getting back into that stadium before we come out on the park, JFK. That's what I'd be doing.
Aye, it's absolutely disgusting what they do to the Rangers team. They don't date anybody else when they come into the ground. It's only us they date to, and it's absolutely disgusting.
And they got away with it.
And it's just horrible bunch of people, So you're right. I mean, let's hope the players have got the tunes on the way to the game and get G'd up for it tomorrow. I'm not wanting to pick MD, but I'm reading the lobby there. Marsden Berry saying he's not very confident tomorrow. He said, I'm with you, Andy. I'm not very confident. He thinks we'll get a draw, and he's saying, is MD else not worried about tomorrow? We've been honking for weeks. Aye, we have, Marsden, but we're a better team than they'll ever be. They've been honking, but they've been getting away with it. The referees have been giving them games. So I still think that we'll give them a do tomorrow. I wouldn't be happy with a draw. Although I probably would take a draw because it doesn't do any damage. But I'm wanting to batter them tomorrow. 3 or maybe 4. Honestly, I do. I think we all do. We just want to give them a roasting. Shut them up.
The boy Nisbet missed for 18 inches. They survived a penalty miss at Tynecastle last Wednesday. And they were seconds off with dropping points on Saturday.
But as
so
I said last week,
like that.
As I said last week, Bob, how many handballs does it take to send a guy off?
Aye.
Beating the 3 handballs and they never get sent off. One of them is as blatant as you. So, I'm confident tomorrow. I'm overconfident. Some people would probably say It's not because of the Aaron Ramsey thing, because Aaron Ramsey's not playing tomorrow. It's because I think we're a far, far better team than they ever will be.
Tell me how your game we are, aye.
Of course we are, Bob. Of course we are.
How your game we are. I want Joe Aribo to turn it on tomorrow night. Well, you've got a good mid. I think your midfield tomorrow night might be Arfield, Kamara and Joe Aribo, and I want them to turn it on against them.
Aye, I mean, we've got nothing to fear, Robert. We've got nothing to fear, mate. We should be confident we're top of the league. Aye, we've not played great in games, but apart from that blip, the weekend, we gifting goals away. Aye, we've not played well, but we've managed to get results. Aberdeen